people want your energy. Not even people want your energy. The most crucial thing in life is your energy. Your energy is the one that gets you through things. Your energy is the one that inspires you through things. Your energy is the one that gets you through everything in life. When you ain't got your energy, you ain't got your inspiration. When they say take care of yourself first, that doesn't mean be selfish, because you're gonna just look out for yourself first. If you're a non-selfish person, you begin to understand that taking care of yourself and being strong is being strong for others. We have to be strong for others. We're gonna wait till people jump in this chat, see what happens. Hell with it, we'll start. The greatest asset in this world is having your energy. Your energy is the one that gets you through things in life. When you have your energy, you start to understand. When you lose your energy, you start to understand when you had your energy. That was the time to shine, get your inspiration, and your inspiration was at its all-time high. That's the time to get your money up, to get your things going. Because when you don't have this energy, that's when life starts hitting you down, and your energy is the one that keeps you up, get your money flowing. Without your energy and without your health, you won't have much. They say get a hustle. They say get a hustle. They say do what you do to get a hustle, to stay you're ahead of the times, ahead of the economy, ahead of the taxes, ahead of whatever. But you can't have that if you don't have your health. Your health is most important to everything that we do in life. That's how we get through in life. It's having our energy. Without energy, how do we make it to the next step? Somebody might be right next to you taking your energy because of the vibes that they're bringing off. And sometimes you can't allow their vibes to bring you down to where you want to be, because you have to see eye to eye with the person that you're trying to vibe with, that you're trying to get to the next level. The energy that's been taken away because you're sitting there worrying about if another person is going to make it through the times that they're getting through when the struggle hits real in their life, and you're looking out for their best interests. But even a minute even a minute away even a slight, just at the minimal, if you take your attention away from yourself, then that's the way the life is going to be, because the more they itch away for themselves to get the attention on them so they can earn up the way and earn up the energy that you have to up their things in their life. See, life is about your energy. If you don't have your energy, if you don't have your life, if you don't have your energy, if you don't have your health, where are you at in life? You're really not anywhere. So you start to really understand that the people that you surround yourself give you energy. Some people will give you the bad vibes to take away your energy, and that's the people to stay away from. Some people will contribute to your energy, and your both energy is on the same level to uplift yourself, uplift both of you to get to where you need to be. Energy is the crucial thing to our vital existence of being healthy, of being wealthy, of being a good mindset. If you don't have no energy to get to where you need to be, then where are you really going to be in life? People blame it on laziness, people blame it on this, people blame it on that, but yet forget. And this is just recently that COVID hit. That COVID hit a lot of people in different areas, mentally, physically. All these health things that have diverted us down a little bit, because we still don't know the effects of that COVID-19, of that strain that hit us. So now we're left with all these anomalies in our life. What are we really facing when it comes to not understanding the woods that we're in, when the woods that we're in is pure darkness, and we have to navigate our way through our basic skills. So we have to understand this. Energy is crucial to your vital existence, to your next step. You cannot allow people to take your energy away. Whatever you choose to think, whatever you choose to go with, just because you choose to think in Jesus, that's what you do. If you choose to believe in Jesus, well, that's what you do. Don't take the energy that Jesus gives you and try to make other people understand that the energy that Jesus gives you, or God, or whoever you believe that's giving you the energy, for other people to understand that's what you're getting it from. Maybe that's not what it is. Maybe Jesus, God, or the one that's right above you is the one to only allow you to have that energy. That's how this works. If people taking away your energy, those people aren't for you. If people aren't here for you, those people aren't for you. If those people take away what you're trying to be, those people aren't here for you, regardless if it's your parents, your grandparents, your blood. Because blood is the one that always doesn't want to seem to succeed in life. They want you to be where they're at. No one in this day wants anybody to succeed. They'd rather have a pity party and examine all each other's problems before one gets to make it out. That's why no one makes it out, because it's the crab in a bucket effect. You have to understand things. When you want to make it, you have to be alone. When you want to do something, you have to be alone. If your mom, if your dad brings you down because their negativity, they feel like that they brought you into this world, now you owe them something. You don't owe your parents a dang thing in life. You don't owe your parents a dang thing in life. If you were the one to make it and be successful in life, you don't owe your parents anything. If you want to put your parents in a position to where they're not going to be able to be struggling, that's fine. Ain't nobody talking bad about that. But if your parents want to just leech off your success and don't want to find their success because they had more time on this earth to figure out how to be successful, we are not our mothers and fathers' lottery ticket out of the position that they put themselves in. We wouldn't be in the position that we're in if it wasn't for the bad decision making that was happening previously before we even got a vote. So we're just dealing with what we have left. All the pieces of glass that's left on the ground, we have to pick up and see what's left, to see what was that stained glass past picture that we can't see. But we get fragments of that glass picture of what it used to be like. And that's sad, because our parents make us believe that we can make it, we can do this, we can do that, but then we get set up with failure because everything is the way it is. Not because we chose it that way, because this is the way the votes were chosen this way, to benefit the people that are benefiting it now. The way this is now, it's benefiting the people that voted for this years before we even had a vote. We have to understand we don't owe anybody anything. If you're 20 years old, if you're 30 years old, if you're 40 years old, you don't owe anything to anybody when it comes down to coming up off the situation that you came up off of. If you want to help out people, that's fine. That's quick and fine. You could do that. That's fine. There's no problem with that. But if the people want to take away what you have and want to leech off that because they didn't make it in life, that's their problem at that point. Energy is being drawn away from too many good people. Energy from artists that should have made it past 25. Energy that people got broke down because people were taking their energy and their existence, talking about them in some type of way, not allowing them to grow, keeping that same old shell on them and not allowing them to grow. So now these people have given hope. Most of these people have been giving up hope and ending up on the street, on the Fetty Wap. And everybody's ending up on the Fetty Wap because the Fetty Wap is stronger than the meth, because the meth used to just make people think more and stay up longer and be in a more psychosis because of the lethargic mindset of staying up for periods of time. Now that era of drugs and that era of things, because of the pharmaceutical industry messing with us and taking us on this roller coaster ride because of pills. Now the pills took us on a roller coaster ride where it was Easy to doctor shop in the early 2000s. Easy to doctor shop, become dependable on these painkillers because these doctors were benefiting off that. Now the FDA took away all these pills and people can't get the medications that they really need because of other people. And I'm not one to sit there and say that I didn't do it. I did it myself when I got all the painkillers that I had from my diagnosis that I go through. I was burning through them things like 60 a week. I was taking 60 Percocet, 60 Vicodin when I switched from Vicodin to Percocet a week. Then going back and getting more, and then they red lighted me and said I couldn't get any more prescriptions. But that's besides the point. The thing is, the doctors put us and allowed us to get on these drugs. Then we took it off as cold turkey. Then what did we expect to do? We expected for our families to understand what we were going through, but they didn't. They just left us cold shoulder. Next thing you know, you're on the street. Next thing you know, you're doing heroin, meth, or whatever. And thank God when I was on the street, I never ended up that way. I struggled, I survived, I made it. I was homeless for 7 years, then I got out. I wasn't on the street trying to get more high. I actually got into trouble because I was trying to get off the mindset. But that's a story for another time. Most people don't do that. Most people turn to drugs and alcohol to get their minds off this. And then when the dependency of that becomes a burden and a monster, then you find yourself in a situation where you're in a cul-de-sac in life. In the cul-de-sac in life, you can't find your way out because no one is willing to go through that whole suburb of area that's confusing. That's a suburb like a liminal space, and you end up in a cul-de-sac in that liminal space in a suburb that's away from people. Then you end up in that suburb and you end up in a maze. Then you end up in this cul-de-sac where it's a roundabout. You can't get out, and now you need someone to help you. There's no GPS to help you out of this situation. There is nobody to help you. People say turn to the government. You can't turn to the government. Your energy is being put in a wrong direction. Life is all about energy. That's how we have to do this. Yep. Oh, yeah. And be that might, nobody's probably listening right now, but that's fine. Maybe the one only listener listening, but that's fine because it'd be the one person that you can get to at least that'll actually listen to what you're saying because they may be going through the same situation that you're going through. And it's funny to me because the situations that we're going through, we all go through it subconsciously without even realizing that the other person is going through the same thing. It's not a coincidence that we're all going through the same thing because we can talk to each other telekinetically without even understanding that. And the powers of us doing that is unbelievable. But people like scientists want to sit there and make us believe that that's crazy talk, that we don't see spirits, that we don't hear things that we don't understand that are there. Just because you can't put it in a box, just because you can't review it in a petri dish, doesn't mean that it's not real. Things that are all in the scientific world in the galaxy, that doesn't mean that what they know is exactly the same. So how do people exactly know what you're going through in the situation that you're going through in life? They don't know. They don't know. So it's time for us to understand our energy is being pulled away. The internal energy that we derive from our bodies, and we wake up, we eat to keep that energy to go to work, to have the energy, to have the social interaction with other people, to not have the social negativity to take away from your energy. And this is how we have to understand your energy is being pulled away, and you have to stay away from the people that are pulling away your energy. Those people are no good for you. The energy that takes you to go to work, the energy that takes you to have inspiration, the energy that keeps your health mindset and everything going, because everything is part of that. If you're depressed, you get sick easier. If you get depressed, you get more obese easier. There's so many things that come with that. But that's what the people do to keep you down, to keep you in the situation that you're in a cul-de-sac that you're in, because you can't really understand when nobody is pointing out the things that are obvious because people want to turn their back on you. Your energy is everything in life. COVID messed up a lot of things. COVID was the worst things that we could ever endure. And people just still to this day act like it was just a conspiracy theory or a conspiracy that this happened because their life wasn't impacted by COVID. Well, I hate to inform those people because you know what? They won't even believe me when I say this because it's apparently to them that this was all a conspiracy theory. That was real. I almost lost my life from that. Whoever the person that created that or however that came about, that disease, that was there, almost felt like it was deliberately to be put in our minds to suck up out all the energy that we're basically having on a day-to-day basis. It draws the energy out of you. And that's scary because people don't understand. That's another form of our mind being degraded because of this virus that hit. Virus has degraded part of our genes and part of our thoughts and mentalities where it led us to where we are today. Less sympathy, less empathy, less everything that you could think of that is kind to the next person is less now by 50-fold. The crucial thing is to stay who you are. If you were that person before this had happened, stay who you are because this is testing you. Whether it be Jesus, whether it be your form of faith that you believe in, whether you be agnostic, whether you be whoever you may be, somebody that doesn't believe in anything at all, atheist, agnostic, Christian, anything, don't, Muslim, Jew, you have to understand the person that doesn't believe in the thing that you believe in isn't because they're a bad person. It's just because that's the energy you draw to get for what you need on your daily day basis. We all have to find something to draw our energy from. And if somebody draws our energy away from us, what do we really have in life? What do we really have? We don't have much. And a lot of people want to discredit Jesus, God, or whatever. May I go back and forth with that? I do. But there is spirits. We know we acknowledge those spirits. We know we see the spirits around us. We know that we see things that get put right before us. We knock it off as, oh, I'm just going crazy. You knock it off as just going to the doctor and saying, hey, doc, I'm seeing things and hearing things. Maybe you're not seeing things and hearing things. Maybe it's that you're being channeled through, and it's up to you to slow down your mind without the drugs to understand what these things are telling you, because it may be not you, but something else in this world that's trying to talk to you. Doctors want to sit there and believe our psychosis is done by just taking a pill. That is not how this is done. Spirituality is not even known. Sit here and we debate whether or not we're right. We sit here and debate whether or not we know what the galaxy is made of. You know what? All we're doing is just drawing our energy away from each other. We need to figure out how we can make each other better. So the homeless don't want to keep being homeless, so we can provide for help to the homeless, so they can accept the help and get off the streets. Half these people on the streets don't want to get off the streets when they get help. You need to understand, you need to give them a program into this system so they can become a functional adult in this society. And that's where we don't understand the energy that we put into things. We think that we're doing the right thing in life, but we're actually just drawing away the energy from the little thing and the little thing and the little things that add up to the bigger picture. All the little pictures add up to the bigger picture by taking it day by day and understanding what the challenges that give you day by day. You cannot control what the next day is going to give you. You can't control the next week. You can plan, you can devise, you can try to make it to that personal point that you made to a personal goal. You can get there, and most people do and feel accomplished. But then they feel discouraged when they don't make it to those goals. That's your energy being pulled away from you. Don't worry about that. You're not going to get everything bullseye first thing. Pay attention. Slow down your brain. Slow down your process. Slow down what you do, because what you do is the best to giving yourself the energy you need to take care of yourself so you can take care of others. Once you could learn to take care of yourself, you could learn to take others so much better. Once your health and your mentality deteriorates, good luck trying to even look out for anybody else. And some people are selfish even never to help out anybody else. But if you are that giving person that does help out other people, more power to you in any way, shape, or form that you can get that power. I hope you enjoyed this session. This was a session that that didn't have no video footage, just pure talk of me just laying here, going through the mental capacity of what I have in my daily mind. Because when I go live and I see my own picture, my own live feed, even if I have the camera on me, I still don't get to the point that I need to when I'm talking. So it's more beneficial when I do it this way. It's more crucial to the conversation and sticking to the point that I want to be. Get off topic when I'm looking into myself like a narcissistic asshole. I took those away from myself. People say they could never be a different person with the traits that our parents had gave us. We can totally do that. We just have to forgive ourselves. Move on. And this is a session. I'll drop the session here. You can go check out other people's YouTubes. I don't want to waste anybody's time any more than I have. But this is inspiration to you, to give you the energy you need to move on. Not distractions, drama that'll lead you to have these triggered feelings. Stay positive, stay in good vibes, and keep those drama people away from you.